Hey guys, welcome back to Chaos and Carry-Ons. I'm Stephanie.
I'm Shelby.
This is the podcast where we talk travel, motherhood, and all the chaos that happens somewhere between packing the carry-ons and making the memories.
Today, we're going to continue Stephanie's spring break adventures because after DC, she kept the trip going. Stephanie's bucket list destination, Amish Country, Lancaster, Pennsylvania. And I'm basically going to ask all the questions because I have literally heard very little about this part of the trip.
And you'll have a lot of questions.
I do.
So let's get right in.
Chaos and carry-ons, let's go. Disney dreams in tow, you know. Every flight and every ride. Join the journey, come inside.
Okay, so pick us up where we left off. You just finished DC. What happened next?
We left the Library of Congress because it was too cold, and we had about a 2.5-hour drive from Washington, D.C. to Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
Well, that's not as bad as I thought, because when you told me you were squeezing this into the same trip, in my mind, it was going to be way longer than 2.5 hours.
No, it really wasn't. But it was funny because the change was so abrupt. We went from, very much city and, lots of people to farmland really, really quick. Like I said, when the cutoff happened, it was like, boom, you're in the country. You know what I mean?
Where did you stay when you went there? Like, did you stay at one place the entire time when you were in Pennsylvania?
Yeah, so I was looking around a lot because I really wanted to stay in Amish country, but Mateo kept talking about how that he wanted to have a pool at the hotel. And so I felt like this was probably the place to do it because in Washington, D.C., and people will tell you that in the planning forums and different things, if you want a pool in Washington, D.C., you're going to pay a lot more for the hotel. And I just felt like we weren't going to have time for them to swim in the hotel. So I was going to have a hotel in Lancaster that had a pool. So we stayed at the Eden Resort and Suites, and it had an indoor pool. It also had an outdoor pool, and it had an awesome playground. If this would have been in the summertime, even my mother-in-law was saying, this would be an awesome place to stay. Awesome. It was just so nice, and it was not very expensive. I'll just tell you, I think that my room, and I got a suite, so it had a room with 2 queen beds, and then there was a bathroom in the middle, and then there was another room that had a queen bed and a pull-out full bed. That room was $180 for that night.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I was shocked.
Wow.
Now, I'm sure in the summertime it would probably be more because, like I said, they do have like an outdoor pool that you can use, and it was really nice. But still, I don't think that it's probably that expensive. Not Washington, D.C. or Pigeon Forge or Orlando expensive.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk about something that is so on brand for us, the food. So this was your one Amish meal, right?
Yes. So for dinner this night, because we had drove up, we decided that this was the night that we were going to drive out to the Shady Maple Smorgasbord. And it was about 30 minutes from our hotel.
I love the name of this. Like, I love it. You can't even say it without smiling. Like, I love it.
Well, it's the largest buffet in the U.S. I am not kidding when I say that everybody that was at the table said that they were overwhelmed. That was the thing that I was not expecting. We were all so overwhelmed by it because it was just so much.
You know how I feel about a buffet. This is kind of stressing me out.
Well, it was Pennsylvania Dutch food, and they said it was all homemade, but it's like a comfort food style. I'm going to say this. If I did not live in the South, this would probably feel a lot better than it was to me. But I guess to me, it was almost like a church potluck on steroids, but with a Pennsylvania Dutch flair, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Because it wasn't
love to do that because like a meat and 3 is my favorite, but it sounds like this was like a meat and 43.
Yeah, because it wasn't like a Golden Corral or anything like that.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like it had the homemade feel to it. It's just, it was so much.
So what was your favorite thing that you ate there? Like your number one?
Probably the pot roast. That was very good, and they actually said that that was, like, one of their famous items was the pot roast. They had, like, a cornbread stuffing, but it wasn't even called that. I can't remember what the name of it was, but that was supposed to be their stuffing. It was that I was not a fan of that. They even had a taco bar. That's what I'm saying, like, this was unbelievable. The desserts, they were like shoe fly pie. Have you ever heard of that?
Mm-hmm.
I think they had, like, cheesecake. They had that I can't think of the name of it, but do you know it's almost like a pistachio, like, old-timey dessert that you would see at church a long, long time ago. Do you know what I'm talking about? It was like the green pudding with, like, whipped cream and, like
Mm-hmm.
yeah, they had
Mm-hmm.
that. They had, like, brownies and cookies. They had awesome, awesome ice cream. And then they had, like, all the toppings. I mean, I could just go on and on and on. They had, like, stewed tomatoes. They had different types of corn were up there. I mean, cornbread. They had homemade butter. Now that was the one thing that really sold me was the homemade butter with the
Yeah, for
cornbread.
sure. So, okay, I have two questions. The first question, what's one thing you ate that you wouldn't go back for next time? Like, was anything bad?
There was some things that were not great. I'll say that. Like, I did not like
Okay.
that shoe fly pie. I would not
Okay.
even try that again. I had never tried it before, but I did not like it.
My next question is like, how crowded was this place? Like, was this a gym? Like, this is somewhere that people go? Because I can't imagine cooking this many things for people not to be there to eat it.
Oh, no, it was packed.
Okay.
And it was on
So,
a random, what, Wednesday or
okay.
Thursday? It was
Okay.
packed.
I don't know. In my mind, I'm just seeing nobody there and they have all this food, but I guess that's stupid to think that because Amish people are literally known for their cooking. So,
Well, it is the largest buffet in the US, and they were saying that people will drive there from all over to come and eat there. Another thing is downstairs, they have a gift shop, and that thing was as big as the buffet. I'm not kidding. Like, my girls could not get over the gift shop. The toy section felt like it was bigger than Toys R Us. It
so
was
was the gift
wild.
shop like Amish made items?
No, no, it was just random stuff.
Like, my best friend went to Amish country and all she bought me was this t-shirt kind of thing. Like, what was in
No,
there?
they even had, like, things that I've seen at toy stores that are, like, specialty toy stores, like Melissa and Doug, like wooden
Oh,
blocks, but
okay.
then they had, like, other things in there. I'll tell
Okay.
you that, and I think I have a video of it. My mother-in-law bought each of them a kazoo and Mateo a train whistle.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, and then we were in the car, and she's like, "Well, they'll get tired of it eventually," and Derek's like, "Will they, though? Will they?"
No, they never will.
So that's what they just had such just random
Okay,
stuff.
that's interesting.
It was.
Okay, so we're going to move on to the next day. You were on a mission to find the real Amish experience. So, where
Yes.
did you start?
So we actually started because Sophia is a senior this year and she loves to thrift. And so we started at a thrift store that was in downtown Lancaster. And so this had nothing to do with the Amish. It was just a thrift store. But what was funny about it is when we were on the way there, we started passing the Amish buggies. And my husband went to Costco and he sent me a picture and it was like a horse and buggy. They had like a stable there for people to put their horse and buggies in at Costco. So this is when I really started to realize like, hey, they're not as separated from life as either
Mhm.
A, they used to be, or B, we think that they still are.
Yeah.
Um, Even when we went to Chick-fil-A, we saw them getting Chick-fil-A because we ate there for breakfast. So anyways, when we came out of the thrift store, there was an Amish man getting out of his buggy and going inside the thrift store. And that was just really funny because Mateo, like, he had to go over there. He wanted to see this horse. He wanted to see this buggy. I mean, he had never seen this before. So he was
So,
so intrigued.
was the guy still out there or y'all waited until he went inside?
We waited until he went inside. We did not go and look inside the buggy, but we did kind of go over near it and look at it. It was really neat.
And this guy's watching from the inside in the window. He's like, really?
You know, it was really funny.
Okay, so what about the farmers markets?
So we did try to go and find some. In hindsight, we really should have done this trip I would say if I was going to do this trip again, I would do it right when school ends. Because a lot of the farmers markets were closed because it was cold, and so they only have them on the weekends. So we did find this little village, and it was called Kitchen and Kettle. It just had like shops with homemade jams. I don't know, just all sorts of little, like I think they had a leather shop. I guess I thought it was going to feel more like quote, quote, Amish, but it really didn't. It felt like just random people from the town had little stores in this village.
Okay, so what was your highlight?
So my highlight was something that was called Pepper Lane Fudge.
I knew this was gonna be food. I
Well,
literally before I even looked and saw that on the note.
so they had the best fudge, and I assume it's because, I mean, we're surrounded by dairy farms. I can't even describe the fudge. Like, it was unbelievable. And fun fact, the man that was in there said, "You never put your fudge in the freezer," or I'm sorry, in the fridge. He was saying that people will do that to get it to, like, harden up. But he
Mhm.
said when you do that, it actually dries it out. You really just need to leave it on the counter, let it harden slowly, and then eat it. He said you never, ever, ever put your fudge in the fridge. I just thought that was interesting.
It is very interesting. Good to know.
So let me back up. One of the things, like when we went from the thrift store out to this kitchen and kettle village, I was so shocked. This is going to be funny, but I was so shocked by the houses because you're literally going through Amish town. I mean, it's hard to describe because when you go to the one that's like in Tennessee and even from like what I've heard about going through Ohio, they were saying it's very condensed. This is like towns and towns and towns of Amish people living here. I guess one of the things that I was so shocked about was how nice some of their houses were. I'm talking like stone houses, like what you would see even here. But there was a horse and buggy outside. I'm not
Mhm.
exaggerating at all. Very nice, modern looking homes. And there would be a horse and buggy outside. Multiple times we passed that. That shocked us. Another thing that is really funny, I don't know if I've talked about this on the podcast. I have a thing about smells. I've always been able to smell things really good. Like when Derek cannot smell it, I'm like, something is going bad in the fridge or whatever. But, anyways, the smell of manure is so strong through that whole city. I can't even describe it. And Derek would laugh because he's like, "What did you expect it was going to smell like?" But I was like, I didn't think it was going to be this overwhelming, especially to me who smells things more sensitively. But Mateo is the same way, and he kept plugging his nose in and saying, "It smells so bad." And he was gagging.
That's hilarious. I wouldn't have
Yes.
thought that either, but it makes sense because they don't have as much like smog as we do. So
Mhm.
it makes perfect sense. That's
Yes.
fresh air, baby.
It stunk so bad. Like, you could just smell, like, cow manure, chicken manure, pig, like, you could just smell it.
Mm-mm.
Like I said, Derek was like, "I smell it, but it wasn't, like, that strong to him." But to me and Mateo, it was very strong.
Mhm.
But anyways, that just like I said, the houses, how they were, it was really shocking. Another thing that we kept joking is Derek would call them Amish Teslas because some of those horse and buggies went pretty quick. Like, he would call them the like I said, the Teslas because those horses were booking it, and then some some of them were going really slow. But anyways, the whole time when we were going around there, like, you'd get behind horse and buggies all the time.
That's awesome. You're making me wanna go, but I wanna go eat. I'm hungry.
It was awesome.
Um, okay. So then what? More shopping, I assume.
Yes, so another thing is that they around there, they didn't call them thrift stores, they called them reuse-its, and I thought that was interesting, but
Mhm.
we went to one that was called Bird in Hand Reuse It Shop, and this one was like a local community shop, so the people running it were Amish. all of the people in there were Amish. We were the only non-Amish people, and I felt like I had died and went to heaven. Funny, but Sophia was like, "Mom is enjoying this way too much." They had the hats, they had the suspenders, they had the dresses, like, was all of their things that they had in this store. It was unbelievable. I cannot tell you how cute that I thought all of the little kids that were in there were. Like, they had, like, little two-year-olds, and they were wearing the little bonnets with the hats. I don't know, it was really neat to me to be, like, in there with them. I will say that other people have said this, but they're not super friendly to what they call, I don't know.
Outsiders.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know what they call us. I think I've heard that they call us the English maybe. I can't remember what the word that they use. But anyways,
Mhm.
they acted very leery of us. And probably so, because Sophia's like, "You're smiling too much." They're scared of you, Mom. I did buy some Amish hats in that store. That's probably a surprise to nobody, but anyway, it was like I said, that was really fun. And, like, if I had to pick a thrift store to tell you to go to, that would be the one, because if you want something that's Amish made, there was a lot of that in that store.
Okay, so tell us where you ended your day.
So the last place that we went to was called the Little Country Store and Miniature Horse Farm. And it was very, very cute. The kids loved it. They didn't have out all of the miniature horses because, again, of the time of year it was, and it was cold and a random Thursday. I would suggest going in the summer or on a weekend, but they had like a little store that you could buy stuff from where they made like homemade items, and then they had like a little farm that you could look at. And so we did, I think they may have had like a little quarter thing where you could get feed and feed the animals, and we did that. And they did have their buggies inside of the horse barn. So we got to see inside of a buggy. Like, we didn't get in there or anything, but we got to see inside of it, and it was so neat. I guess I was surprised how big it is in there. And let me just say, their seats are a lot more comfortable than ours. Like, you could tell, like, how padded they were, but like Derek said, they're not going very far. So,
Mhm. That's true.
um, it was neat. Like, we really had a good time. Like, I would highly, highly recommend that.
So what didn't you get to do that you wanted to do?
So if I had to do it over again, we did not get to do the Amish farm and house tour. I really wanted to do that. We were afraid that it was going to be too cold because a lot of it was outside. But that's where you tour an Amish house. They show you an Amish school house, like where they teach the kids, and then you get to tour the farm. And then they have some similar, like, little stores where you can buy things that they've made. And we also did not get to do Abe's buggy ride, and that's where, I mean, they have multiple buggy rides that you can do. We didn't get to do that, again, because it was just so cold. So like I said, I would go in the warmer months, and I would do those two things along with that little country store. Like, if I was telling somebody and planning their trip, that's the three things that I would have them do. And you'll feel like you really spent time with Amish.
It's like the full Amish experience.
It really was. Like I said, I think that they look at us and they feel sorry for us. We look at them and we feel sorry for them because they're doing everything the hard way. But
Mhm.
they live such a simple life that their mind is
Mhm.
probably just so much more clear than ours. Like, I just think that we're probably the ones that are so much more stressed than them.
Mhm. Their minds are clear and their sinuses from
This
the
is
poop.
probably true.
Okay. So overall, would you say it was worth it?
I would say it was definitely worth it, especially somebody like me. And it's so funny because every time I tell somebody I'm obsessed with the Amish and they're also obsessed with the Amish, it's like you're in this club that you didn't know
Yeah.
existed. But I honestly would. Now, I will say this. I don't know if I would go out there just to see that. I would do it, like,
Mhm.
with Washington, D.C. or something else.
Mhm.
And there's so many things that you can tack onto that, like Hershey, Pennsylvania, and go to the Hershey Park. You could do
Mhm.
that. I would totally recommend it if you're adding it onto another small trip. I think it's great.
We've done Hershey, Pennsylvania one year, and it was awesome. I was gonna Google how far it is from Lancaster because I want to go back to Hershey and take Taylor. Oh, it says 35 to 45 minutes.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty
Y'all
close.
should have done that while you were there because the little factory where you can ride through and see how they make like the Reese's cup, it is so cool. And having that chocolate at the end, like we ate some, it was the freshest that, like, I think it just comes off the conveyor belt right into the gift shop. It's awesome.
Yeah. It definitely is on our bucket list for next time.
So it's also like 2 hours and 45 minutes. So it's about the same distance as it was from DC to New York. And that's when we went through Hershey was on our way back from New York because the first time I went, we actually drove instead of flying. So that would be a good option too. That's literally from one extreme to the other. You talk about city to country. Wow.
Yeah, it is. The change is very abrupt, but it's very pretty. Like, you will love it. If you are intrigued by the Amish like I am, you can't get more Amish than that. And that's what even my mother-in-law was saying, that when she's went up to Tennessee, the shops, they're all right there close together. The homes, they're all right there close together. This is very spread out.
Yeah.
Very, very spread out. So keep that in mind. You're going to have to do a good bit of driving to get all around there and get the feel for just how big it is. But we did, and it was awesome.
Can you rent a horse and buggy, like a rental car?
I don't know if you can rent one. Like I said, there was many
I mean,
buggy rides.
how do you ensure that though? Like, can you imagine calling Travelers or Liberty Mutual?
Well, it was funny because Derek was talking about that the other day about the gas prices. He's like, who's not worried about the gas prices? And I was like,
Yeah.
the electric car owners. And he's like, no, the Amish.
Well, both of them collectively. But I'm like, I always call when we rent a car and I'm like, hey, just letting you know, blah, 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 which my coverage, they say I'm covered on anything I drive. So I guess the horse and buggy, like they didn't say not.
Well, that's technically riding and not driving.
Oh, this is true.
They're going to get you on a technicality.
I don't know. That's something to think about tonight when I can't sleep.
Well, if you know the answer to this and you're listening, please send us a message and let us know.
I probably just lost us so many listeners. Thank you guys so much for listening to Chaos and Carry-Ons. If you loved this episode, be sure to follow along, share it with a friend who's always up for a little adventure.
You can find us on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. And be sure to give us a follow and tell us when your trip to Amish Country is, or maybe the next Amish Country I need to explore.
As always, may your flights be on time and your luggage never lost. But if it's not, that's where the fun begins.